on the whereabouts and the identity of this person and or persons who may be plotting against the President. With me this afternoon is the head of the National Bureau of Investigation, who has primary jurisdiction to conduct an investigation whenever a threat to the presidency is made known. And we will use all the resources of government, all law enforcement agents, to find out the identity of this assassin and the legal consequences arising out of this criminal plot will be dealt with the full force of the law. So the NBI has done an initial investigation, and maybe we can report what we have validated with respect to the authenticity of the video, which was aired in many platforms in social media, to make sure that we are giving due process and we are ascertaining that the video is indeed genuine and the utterances of the Vice President. Mr. Director Santiago, can you kindly enlighten the group?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon po sa inyo, sir. Alam niyo po, mandato ng sa NBI ng ating batas, Republic Act 10867, may primary jurisdiction po ang NBI to investigate threats on the President down to the Chief Justice. So, hindi po namin to tinetake lightly when we receive the video clips nung sinabi nga ni Vice President Sara, nagkundak ko agad kami ng investigation. First, I directed my cybercrime unit to investigate the authenticity of that video clippings, of that video clip. So, we found out, my investigators found out that the clip is not AI generated, it is not deepfake, it is authentic. So the next step we do is to write yung platform, happen to be na yung FB, Facebook. So we requested na preservation nung clip. So the Facebook ay kinikip na ang video clip for future reference. Granted na po yung request namin na naka-save na po yun. Now, ang next step namin ngayon is dinedetermine namin whatever action, say criminal or whatever action that we will take against the Vice President, especially the person na sinasabi niya na inutusan na niya para ipapatay si President Marcos, the First Lady, and the Speaker.
Okay. Thank you.
Ang investigasyon po na gagawin ng gobyerno ukol sa bagay na ito ay agad-agaran. Importante hong malaman kung ano ang mga naging hakbang para po kumuha ng serbisyo ng isang mamamatay tao na nagpaplano ng masamang balakin sa ating mahal na Pangulo. At gagawin po ng National Bureau of Investigation ang lahat ng mga hakbang para matuntun ang identity nito, kasama po ang pag-i-issue po ng subpoena kay Vice President Sara na humarap sa NBI para bigyan po ng kaliwanagan ang kanyang mga pananalita. Dahil po diretsuhan niyang sinabi na siya po ay kumuha na ng tao, na siya pong gagawa ng pagpatay hindi lang po sa Pangulo, kasama po ang ating First Lady at ang ating Speaker of the House. Hindi po tama pong pananalita na nanggagaling po sa napakataas na opisyalis ng ating bayan. Kailangan po agarang investigasyon at meron po tayong paraan sa batas na mag-issue ng subpoena ang National Bureau of Investigation para po paharapin ang ating Vice Presidente at magbigay linaw sa kanyang mga sinabi.
Okay. Are we going to hear from the Prosecutor General?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Well, to add to what Undersecretary Jesse Andres and Director Santiago said earlier, this is something that cannot be taken lightly. In light of the fact that the one who made those statements and made those utterances is the sitting Vice President. And the threat is directed against our Chief Executive, the wife, and the Speaker of the House. So as far as the Office of the Prosecutor General is concerned, the National Prosecution Service, we being part of the executive branch are mandated to closely work with the National Bureau of Investigation and other law enforcement agencies in making sure that whatever cases, case or cases may be filed later on are something which will be backed up and be supported by evidence. So we have been closely in coordination with the National Bureau of Investigation and with other agencies to ascertain who may be held liable. But I think the immediate threat right now, as mentioned by Undersecretary Andres, is to go after and try to track the assassin or assassins, because this is not something that you can just simply dismiss. Coming from a sitting vice president who is just an earshot from the presidency if she decides to run, it is something na titingnan natin yung motivation. We have to look at the motive for doing it. But again, we have to look at all of these in the context of all the things that are going on and cannot simply isolate the situation to the statements that were made. So we have to be very careful in going over the events leading to the statements that were pronounced or made by the Vice President.
Thank you. Now
Dagdag ko lang.
Wait.
Ating pong alalahanin na kamakailan lang ay nagbigay din po ng pananalita ang ating Vice President na gusto niyang pugutan ng ulo ang ating Pangulo. Tinanggap po namin na salita yon in a metaphorical way. Isang simbolismo lang ng kanyang galit. Ngunit sa kanya pong bagong pananalita, hindi po maaring isang tabi lang yan at kailangan po ng ating gobyerno na kumilos dahil po ang isang halal na Pangulo ay binigyan po ng banta ng isang mataas ding opisyal ng gobyerno na may kakayahan din na gawin ito. Kaya kami po, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We will take every effort to protect the President and to investigate everyone that could possibly be involved in this assassination plot of the three high-ranking officials of government.
Thank you. Let's open the floor to questions. First one is Chona Yu, People's Journal.
Sir, yung subpoena, na-serve na po ba ito or kailan po ito isa-serve kay Vice President Duterte?
Ngayon po ay ginagawa na naman at isa-serve na agad immediately. Apo.
And then also, sir, yung kaso, anong pwedeng ikaso kay Vice President Duterte doon sa kanyang mga statement?
Ang Vice Presidente po ay maraming posibleng legal liabilities sa kanya pong mga nagawang pananalita at mga aksyon na ginawa kasabay nito. Hindi po namin sinasara ang pinto sa mga malalaking kaso, ngunit ayon po sa due process, kailangan pong isaganap muna namin ang kumpletong investigasyon. We have to go into every possible angle, hear testimonies, collate previous testimonies given, and do a forensic study that will fortify all possible cases. But we assure you, the full force of the law will be used in dealing with this matter.
Sir, NBI, sir, may lead na po ba kayo sa assassins? Kung ano yung profile maybe or background?
Actually, wala pa po. Yan ay malilinawan pagka pumunta, sumagot sa subpoena namin si Vice President Sara at siya po magpaliwanag kung sino yun.
Okay. Next question, Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7. Mike, please.
Good afternoon. Yung pagtukoy ho natin sa assassin, assuming matukoy natin siya, ano ho magiging pananagutan niya sa batas kung wala pa namang nangyaring krimen?
Marami pong legal liabilities ang tao, lalo na pag meron pong may establish na conspiracy to commit an attempt on the life of our chief executive. Right now, we are open to all possible crimes, and we are not looking at one particular offense, criminal offense. But as I said, definitely there will be criminal and other legal liabilities that will be enforced against the plotters and those who will execute it and those who took part in it. So we will complete the investigation, and definitely we will file the appropriate cases. But we will not identify the particular offense at this point in time.
Earlier, the Vice President issued a statement saying that her statement was taken out of its logical context. Ano hong masasabi niyo doon?
Well, as I said, gagawin po natin ang lahat ng isang patas at malawak na investigasyon. We will put into proper context her statements. But I simply recall that when she answered certain questions and she declared the plot to assassinate the president, she even immediately added, "This is no joke. This is no joke. I did it. And I wanted to make sure that this person will do it to its completion." And again, we will give the Vice President a chance to explain.
But in your view, given that phrase, no joke, that she wasn't joking, that leaves no room for the statement to be taken out of context.
Definitely, we will take it as a serious threat because it came from the mouth of the sitting Vice President.
Thank you.
Okay. Eden Santos, Net 25.
Good afternoon po, sir. On the part of the Vice President naman po, meron po ba kayong information na meron ding threat sa buhay niya?
Maybe we can ask the law enforcement agents to
On the part of the NBI, hindi kami nakakatanggap ng any information regarding the threat on the life of the Vice President.
Kaya po niya nasabi yon dahil parang gusto rin niyang protektahan yung sarili niya against naman po dun sa planong pagpapatay din sa kanya, sort of. Wala po kayong ganung intelligence information?
Wala po, sir. Ay, ma'am, wala po.
Okay. Sam Medinilla, Business Mirror.
In answer also to that, as you will observe, everything that is being done is through legal processes and legal proceedings. If ever the Vice President is being held accountable, it is in a legal process. And it is all done within the bounds of the Constitution and the law.
Thank you. Sam Medinilla, Business Mirror.
Tatanong ko lang po, can the Vice President face possible preventive suspension while the investigation is ongoing?
First, the Vice President is not immune from suit. She can be the subject of any criminal, administrative case, and the Ombudsman also has authority to do its duty to discipline and to take necessary measures to deliver on its mandate as the investigator of all high-ranking government officials. So it is within the authority of the Ombudsman to act on this matter as well.
Okay. Harley Valbuena, DZME.
Good afternoon. For NBI po, sir, how soon can we expect an arrest or detention of someone over this matter? Because I remembered way back 2020, there was a teacher who randomly posted on social media, he offered 50 million pesos reward for anyone who can kill the then President Rodrigo Duterte. So I'm just curious, can we expect the same response over this matter?
Yes, we are aware of that case. Actually, it is the NBI who arrested that person, Mr. Romel Mas. He is a school teacher who offered 50 million pesos to kill PRRD. Arestado agad siya, but then later parang parang pinatawad na rin ni PRRD. This time, out of courtesy, masasabi natin, out of courtesy, due process, hindi po namin agad inaresto si Vice President dahil siya ay Vice President, napakataas na opisyal. So we are giving her chance, due process, to answer yung ibinibintang sa kanya. No, this is by way of subpoena, and we will ask her to appear before our office within 5 days from today. Appear siya sa amin, sagutin niya yung aming mga tanong para mabigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating Vice President.
Okay. Ira Panganiban, DZRJ.
Yes, two questions. First question is, it's an if-then situation. If this happens to me, then this is what I will do. What's the legal implication of that? If something happens, the statement of Vice President Sara Duterte was, if something happens to me, then I will do this. What's the legal implication of that?
The important thing that everyone should understand from those statements is the lack of recourse to legal and judicial remedies. That is what is appalling in this situation, where a high-ranking official would not have recourse to legal and judicial remedies to seek redress. So all of us are governed by the rule of law, and no one is above the law. If there is a need to exact justice for a criminal act, then it has to be through the legal and judicial process. We cannot take the law into our own hands. No one should espouse that kind of thinking. And that is why I strongly believe that that exposes her to criminal liabilities.
See. Question number 2. She claims that one of her security personnel attempted to take her life. Is the NBI, the Department of Justice, the government looking into this allegation?
Parang wala kaming natanggap na ganyan na sinabi niya na one of her security aid. Remember that the Vice President, even the Vice President, is being protected by our Presidential Security Command.
There was part of that statement in her ranting.
We will go over that. But i-clarify ko lang yung napakadelikado yung sinasabi niya na pag ako namatay. Take note. Pag ako namatay, hindi niya sinabing pag ako napatay. Magkaiba yun, yung mga Tagalog dito, no? Magkaiba yun. Pag ako namatay, paano kung na-overdose siya, nalason siya ng, wala namang kasalanan ng mga agencies, wala namang kasalanan ng president, bakit papapatay niya ang president? No? Kaya iba yung pag ako napatay. Ayan, somebody assassinated her. Papapatay niya yung presidente. Magkaiba eh. Pinag-aaralan namin mabuti yung statement niya.
Okay.
Okay.
Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN 2.
Sir, in the Vice President's rant, she also mentioned that former Communications Secretary Harry Roque is already out of the country. Can she also be held liable for withholding knowledge as to where Mr. Roque is?
Wala naman. Kung umalis na si Roque, kung hindi naman sila accused pa in a certain crime na mapapagsabihan natin na in conspiracy silang dalawa.
Sir, another question. The former president of the IBP mentioned that she has violated Canon 1 for lawyers. Will that be grounds for her disbarment?
Pwede. Yes.
Is the government
Pero
inclined to file a disbarment case against her?
Can I answer that?
Yeah, kasama na yan. Yun nga sinabi ni Yusek Andres, lahat ng legal
liabilities.
mananagot siya sa lahat ng legal aspect. She cannot, sinabi pa niya na she is acting as a lawyer for Lopez. And that cannot be done. Hindi siya pwedeng mag-practice. Ang general rule is that public officials cannot practice their profession. No? Pwede yun kung pinapayagan at hindi in conflict sa kanyang opisina. Remember that ang iniimbestigahan ay ang opisina ni BP Sara. Therefore, she cannot act as counsel sa opisina niya na siya ang iniimbestigahan. May conflict. Ganun po yun. Pero yun mga matter na yun, light na lang yun eh. About yung siya being a lawyer. Pero yung utterances niya na pagbabanta, yan ang pinupukpukan namin at siniserious namin na consider.
Yeah, we're actually, if I may add, as mentioned earlier, we're looking at all angles and all possible cases. No? So it's not limited to the filing of possible criminal cases or criminal charges alone, but even violations of the CIPRA, no? And possibly disbarment case if there are grounds. So yan po ay pinag-aaralan ngayon, pero nabanggit nga kanina, siguro at this point, it would not be prudent to make any disclosures yet as to what possible cases, whether they're criminal or administrative, that will be filed or be considered for filing by the Department of Justice or by the NBI.
Sir, can you give us at least a timeline as to when you intend to resolve these investigations?
This investigation will be commenced as we speak. At the moment, it has been started even before this press conference. And we will continue to do this until we get to the bottom of it. This is a serious threat, a very, very bad precedent for our country if we will not take legal action on these kinds of threat coming from a very high-ranking official. We have to maintain order in a civilized society by adherence to the rule of law. And we will apply the full strength and force of the law on this matter.
Thank you. Raquel Bayan, Radyo Pilipinas. Please pass the mic to the back.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, yung mga ganitong pronouncement coming from the Vice President to the President, pwede po ba ito maging grounds for impeachment?
Impeachment is a constitutional option that is vested in the House of Representatives to initiate and eventually elevate it into the Senate. It is not within the ambit of our authority to determine whether this should be a ground for impeachment. But I will only say that there are serious violations of the law in these acts. So we will leave it up to Congress to make that determination.
Okay. Leth Narciso, DZRH.
Sir, dahil nga may naging nauna ng pahayag si VP Sara last month na gusto niyang pugutan ng ulo si Presidente, and then now itong kill statement. Clear na po ba yung pattern na may plano laban sa buhay ni PBBM?
Maaari po. I-consider po namin yung lahat ng mga pinagsasabi niya previous and up to this latest declaration ni VP Sara.
Okay. Ria Fernandez, TV5.
Sirs, good afternoon. Aside from the possible charges that you mentioned earlier, are we also looking into filing sedition raps against the Vice President because of the statements she made against the President?
Based on our initial study, sedition is a possibility. We are not closing our eyes on other possible criminal offenses, even graver than sedition. But grave threats and sedition are obviously being considered. But we are not making that determination now. As I said, due process warrants that every angle should be investigated. Every party should be given an opportunity to be heard. And in due time, in observance of due process, we will make that determination to file the appropriate case.
Just a follow-up regarding lang po doon sa sinasabi rin ni VP na kaya niya nasabi yun because there is an actual threat against her. Meron din po ba tayong parang, are we also considering to look into that claim of the Vice President that there is a threat against her life?
The government is supposed and will protect every citizen of the country. Of course, that includes the Vice President. We have every reason to afford her protection from the law, from lawless elements. And, we are surprised that there is a possibility that there is a threat, and we will give necessary law enforcement agents to make that investigation as well, if you think there is such a threat coming, but as of now, we have not received any formal complaint or request for assistance on that particular matter. But as you saw, as I've been saying, everything that is directed against the Vice President, if she is being held accountable, are being done through legal and constitutional processes. So it is not done extrajudicially. And what is really appalling is the possibility of resorting to extrajudicial measures and exacting justice. That is why we said that this is a very alarming situation, because every public official should be an individual that can be emulated by all to follow. And coming from a high-ranking official, these words are very disturbing. It is not instilling peace, order, and support and defending the Constitution. So that is why we are greatly alarmed, and we are taking all necessary action on this matter.
Okay, next question. Maricar Sargon, Brigada News FM.
Sir, good afternoon. I know this is your mandate. May utos man po o wala yung presidente, but we just want to know kung meron po bang personal directive sa inyo si President Marcos? Yung regarding sa investigation.
Well, it is our duty to make that on our own, because the mandate of the Department of Justice includes the investigation of crimes. That is why the National Bureau of Investigation has been tasked already and has commenced the complete investigation of this matter. The National Prosecution Service is the arm of government that will develop the case and eventually seek justice, enforce the law through the appropriate criminal case to be filed in court. And we are mobilizing all law enforcement agents, including the Philippine National Police, under the directive of the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, to do their own investigation, so that we will pull all possible information and evidence collated and hold people accountable for this.
Thank you. Christian Isores, Radio sa East Trenta. Behind you.
Good afternoon, sirs. Sa mga recent po na hearing sa House, nahirapan pong padaluhin ng mga congressman si VP Sara sa mga nakaraan. Pero this time po na magpapadala tayo ng subpoena sa kanya, paano natin siya makakompel na sumagot? And ano pong pwedeng mangyari kung hindi pa rin siya sumagot sa inyong subpoena?
Ang mandato namin ay tiyakin that due process is observed at all instances. The subpoenas will be issued and she will be given an opportunity to present her side. That's the rationale why we are, or the NBI is going to send the subpoena in the first place. Ngayon, kung hindi siya tumugon, hindi naman po pwedeng tayo ay maghintay hanggang sila ay good and ready. Whatever evidence is in the possession of, or will be in the possession of the NBI based on its investigation, outside of any statement or any cooperation coming from them, is something that we can work on already. Ang sinasabi lang natin is, hindi pwede na gawin natin ito ng marahas. Kailangan sumunod tayo sa naayon sa batas. At pagkatapos nating sundin to at nabigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon at sila hindi tumugon, wala tayong magagawa kundi ipatupad ang batas. At sundin ito batay sa ebidensya na hawak natin.
Let me just give another perspective, that what is on trial here is actually even our justice system. People have always been saying that justice is not fair. It is only leaning in favor of those who have privilege or power. But now we will have the opportunity to show that no one is above the law, and that accountability can be exacted from anybody, so that people will now really give respect to the law. If we are not able to apply the law to other people who have influence and power, what kind of government can we provide? So that is what is at stake here. I hope people understand that there is nothing personal about this, but things happen because we have to strengthen our institutions. And we will do what is necessary under the Constitution and in accordance with the Constitution.
Okay. Alvin Baltasar, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, pwede lang pong paki-specify kung ano yung batas na dapat nating ipatupad kung sakali mang hindi tumugon doon sa subpoena si Vice President Sara.
Sa NBI.
Kung hindi po siya tumugon sa subpoena na aming papadala, tulad nga po sinabi ni Yusek Andres at ni PG Padulyon, kung ano yung ebidensya na nandun sa kamay namin, ay we will proceed with it. Ipapile namin yung, kung merong dapat ipile na kaso, ipapile na po namin yun. At remember, pag pinail ng investigating office like NBI, ipapile po yan sa prosecution office. And then the prosecution, the office of the Department of Justice, sila magde-determine whether there is prima facie evidence, may certainty of conviction bago nila ipapile ang case.
Director. Sige, may follow-up yata.
Okay, let's go back to Chona Yu and then to Eden Santos.
Just a quick follow-up on that. Do you have the power to cite her in contempt kung hindi siya susunod sa subpoena? Do you have that?
Kami po, wala. Pagka hindi po tumugon sa aming subpoena, kung ano pong available evidence sa kamay namin, yun po, doon kami gagawa ng report and refer the matter to the prosecutor's office.
Okay, let's go back to Eden Santos.
Sir, meron na po ba tayong binuong task force? Kung meron man, kailan po natin ito na-form regarding dito sa kaso na ito against BP Sara?
Yun nga po, dahil mandato ng NBI na imbestigahan agad any threat to the President down to the Chief Justice. Nung Sabado, nung early morning ng Sabado, ay pinatawag ko na po ang aking mga abogado na mga mahusay, cybercrime chief, yung aking assistant on special concern, yung aking COS, puro sila abogado. Umupo na po agad kami at inumpisahan na namin ang investigasyon. Mamaya pong hapon, uupo po uli kami at kung ano nang nagather namin na evidence na hindi pa man namin na iimbestigahan si BP Sara, kung ano po na evidence na hawak na namin.
Sir, ano pong pangalan po nung task force? Ang task force BP Sara? Ganun.
Wala akong ipinangalan na Task Force BP Sara. Wala pong ganon. Basta ako'y tumawag lamang yung aking inaasahan, mga competent lawyers ng NBI na makakatulong po sa investigasyon.
Wala po tayong itatawag dun sa task force para mas malinaw lang po.
Sa ngayon po, wala po. Wala pong special name sila. Opo, sir.
Yun po bang video clip from Facebook, masasabi po natin itong magiging matibay na ebidensya?
Matibay pong ebidensya yun dahil napatunayan po namin yun ay authentic. Talaga pong nangyari at na-preserve na po namin sa Facebook app.
Okay, let's go to Melvin Gascon and we're about to wrap up this press conference. Over there. Please give the mic to Melvin.
Good afternoon, sir. Tatanong ko lang, sir, ngayon po halos napakalakas po nung response ng Executive Department doon po sa statements made by Vice President. I'm just curious, were these threats ever been corroborated by the intelligence community?
Yun pong threat itself na pinahayag ni BP Sara, doon po kami nagbabank na mag-imbestiga ng maigi. No? Revelation yun. Mayroon siyang kinausap na assassin na gagawin itong bagay nito against the President. So doon po kami nakatutok maigi.
So wala pong lumabas from intelligence services na may ganong elemento ng...
There is an active threat to the President given that the one who made that pronouncement is a high-ranking, influential, and also powerful official. Whether that is corroborated by previous acts is actually contributory only to our drive to, enforce the law. It is not for anyone to speak in that manner, to disrupt public order by making threats, especially on the life of anyone, more so the life of the chief executive of this country, a duly elected leader of the country. So we have to put our foot down on this matter because everyone is relying on the president to execute the laws and to deliver the services to our country. But if he will be impeded by threats such as this, then he will be impaired in delivering the service to our countrymen. And that should be the view of every Filipino. A threat to the president is a threat to every Filipino because he is the one expected to deliver the service. And if he is impeded because of death threats, then it is a disservice to our people.
Thank you, sir.
Jean Mangaluz, Philippine Star. Leth, please pass the mic.
Good afternoon. It's no secret that the Duterte family has criticisms against the president. Will your investigation extend to the Duterte clan?
Hindi naman. Mag-ano kami dito, magpo-focus kami dito sa declaration ni Vice President Sara.
Okay. Alvin Baltasar, last question. Radyo Pilipinas.
Sir, last na lang sa akin. Sir, how capable VP Sara to perform such threat against the President and the First Lady?
Yun nga, sabi ni Yusek, as described by Yusek, very powerful si Vice President Sara, mataas na posisyon sa government, very influential, kaya lalong matindi yung threat na binabantayan natin ngayon.
Yeah, please understand that if ever this threat of assassination actually happens or is accomplished, she is the ultimate beneficiary. And we have to, do everything to protect the president. Understandably, if such an event happens, who will benefit? She is the beneficiary of the death of the president. So her words have to be taken in the proper context. Previously, she made the declaration that the president's head should be cut off, pugutan ng ulo. And now, this more specific allegation on engaging an assassin to kill people, including the president. That is a very serious action taken by the VP. And we have to, go through the process and seek accountability for this.
Okay. Vance Fernandez, Police Files.
Good afternoon, sirs. Will the President move to an undisclosed location for the interest of his safety?
We leave it up to the Presidential Security Group to make that determination. But we have to say that we have a very efficient and effective Presidential Security Group that will do what is best for our President.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Department of Justice Undersecretary Andres, Prosecutor General Fadulion, and NBI Director Santiago. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. This concludes our press briefing today.
Thank you.